Welcome, my friends, to the show. Step inside, step inside. Hello, we up yet? There we go. We are connected. Hello, everybody. Thank you for clicking on. Once again, it's Eyes Open on the American Doofus channel. The 30th day and final day of April 2024. Tomorrow, that means tomorrow is May Day. May Day has significance to a lot of different organizations and a lot of different groups. It's a day to recognize labor, organized labor. It is also a day that is pretty significant in communism. It's also a day pretty significant in socialism. And it could be a day significant in United States history, as there are several large rallies planned on college campuses around the United States for tomorrow. Hi, not going away. Several different college campuses around the country are going to be having rallies tomorrow because it is May Day. One of those campuses is in Austin, Texas, University of Texas. Their main campus there in Austin, and they have had they've had some incidents, and we're going to talk about those coming up. And the event tomorrow is supposed to be at 1 p.m. Eastern, which is noon Central, obviously 11 Mountain and 10 Pacific. And Lori Arnold is there. Lori Arnold is in Austin. She was broadcasting tonight from in front of the jail, and earlier this afternoon from both in front of the jail and at the gathering that was really quiet and peaceful. Wasn't a lot of protesting going on. That will change tomorrow there in Austin. And Lori was also at the Scientology. She went by and gave an earful to Scientology there in Austin. So you can go back and watch those after we're done here, and look for her tomorrow as well, live from Austin. In the meantime, tonight, college campus uprisings grow and escalate, and Phil Schneider. If you saw last night's episode, you know that I touched on Phil Schneider, and I said that probably tomorrow, which now is today, I'm going to play the episode, and I am. It's about 15 minutes long, and we will get to that. But first, let's take a look at what's going on around the country today with the college campus uprisings, and how things have grown, how things have escalated. Latest, New York City Hall has informed CBS News that there is evidence suggesting the presence of the wife of a known terrorist among the protesters on the Columbia University campus. All right, that gives a little foreshadowing to what we're going to be covering here tonight, because there were indeed arrests at the Columbia campus. That is a university that students, after we went off the air last night and learned, students from Columbia University as well as non-student activists took over one of the buildings, the main building in Columbia University, and we'll show you what happened tonight in response to that action late last night, early this morning. This Columbia's campus, this came in an hour ago. This is footage of the New York Police Department entering the university. We'll run it back to the beginning so you will. Apologies for the blaring audio there, but you can see that it's just a massive show of force at both Columbia University in New York City and also the community college or the city university of New York. Um, massive police presence and show of force and arrests made at both of those locations tonight. Um, and that's just the first of the footage we have from Columbia. Here is police began entering the Hamilton Hall building through a second floor window, deploying tear gas inside. And reports indicate there is an unconscious student in front of Hamilton Hall. So EMTs, I'm assuming, responding to that. Here gives you a little better view of the apparatus that the police used to storm the building from the second floor and not enter through any of the barricaded first floor entrances. Egypt's border wall. Okay. I haven't shown this before, and this doesn't involve college campuses or Phil Schneider, but it does kind of involve college campuses because the protests are about Palestine. And this is what Egypt has erected on their border to make sure that no Palestinians will enter. And you'll see armed guards coming up here at the very bottom corner of the frame. And make of that what you will. But Egypt does not want Palestinians coming into their land. And Biden is trying really hard to make that happen. So much so that if it doesn't happen, he said he would consider making a spot for them in the United States. For real, just something to think about. From the walls to the gate, it is time to escalate. This is what was going on at the City College of New York, or CCNY, or CUNY, sometimes called the City University of New York instead of college. And a massive amount of people gathered. And again, they're chanting to escalate. We'll listen in. So with them chanting that, police obviously were anticipating escalation and came in with force. We don't know yet what the actual outcome is. It's ongoing in both places. Now, again, we drop back down to University of Texas, Austin police, 51 suspected overdoses that left 4 dead. Travis County judge called what unfolded in the last 27 hours the largest opioid overdose outbreak that we've seen in years. So, again, if you're in the Austin area, Lori Arnold and Echo Romeo, anybody else that happens to be careful. Something's going on down there. Somebody's spiking the Kool-Aid, if you get that reference. The University of North Carolina chancellor, this came in 4 hours ago, personally removed the Palestinian flag that had been placed at the front of the university, and he himself personally replaces it with the American flag. As you can see, a number of police around there, and eventually the protesters came in and tried to stop that from happening, and they were not successful. Once again, if you're just joining us, protesters announcing from the walls to the gate, it is time to escalate here at City College of New York as they rush the police line. This comes in from Freedom News TV. Whoa. Hang on. Not sure why I did that. There we go. So you get an idea how loud it actually is there, as that was just half volume. Some of the people being arrested. Again, this is in front of CUNY. Totally different from what's happening at Columbia. The same chance, the same chance to escalate. Chant, CHANT, chanting. New York police fully equipped in riot gear. This came in about 3 hours ago. And again, you just knew something was going to be going down. You don't show up with, I mean, those of us that were involved in 2020 in covering that summer, we covered so many protests in so many places, and so much could be you're welcome. So much could be learned. All right. Now, it's not just did the protesters learn. Like back then, it was always write a number somewhere so that you could call if you got arrested. Well, they started using that. Not only did the protesters learn, the police learned as well, and the court systems. And if you write a number now, they use that as use it against you by saying you had the intention of doing something that was going to get you arrested. Otherwise, you wouldn't have prepared to be arrested. It's just one of the things the police have learned. They're still doing the kettle tactics where they box people in and gradually enclose. And tear gas has come out in more than one location, as we'll show you here coming up. But in the meantime, Judge Juan Merchan says he will grant former President Donald Trump's request to miss a day of his criminal trial in New York to attend his son Barron's high school graduation. So Trump is going to be able to go to the graduation. Let's see if he comes up with an excuse not to, as he did for every other one of his children. This is titled "Laws Don't Apply to Israel." State spokesperson Patel on the International Criminal Court in regards to Israel. He says, quote, "We do not believe that the ICC has jurisdiction on this. That being said, we work closely with the ICC on a number of key areas, Ukraine, Darfur, Sudan. But on this particular instance, they just do not have jurisdiction." So we've questioned multiple times on this show over the past several years, are there two legal systems in our country? Not only now, we got the question, do we have two legal systems in the world? The law according to the world, the International Criminal Court, or the law according to the United States? Now, the rest of the world sees this and says, oh, the United States is bullying the rest of the world. Here's threatening sanctions. And they want to vote us off the island really bad because they cannot destroy Israel until they destroy the United States. And in my opinion, we're helping them do that by destroying it from within. I hope I'm wrong. I hope that's not what's going on. But that's what I'm seeing with my eyes open. Pro-Hamas extremists just attacked police at University of North Carolina in North Carolina. Again, this is police were removing a Palestinian flag that they had replaced the U.S. flag with. When police removed it, the extremists started attacking them, and thus it became not a peaceful protest. As you can see, fortunately, it's just pushing and shoving. Both sides, again, I think, learned some things from 2020. The fact that they don't have their clubs out immediately ready to beat on people. A lot of police got in trouble for that legitimately because there was a lot of brutality in 2020. 2020, for those that don't remember, it was Breonna Taylor, it was Ahmaud Arbery, it was, of course, George Floyd and Kyle Rittenhouse. Okay. And more. And just some incredibly heartbreaking things, and people associated with protests having things done to them. As we can see, and as we have seen, journalists getting tossed around. Now, back then, if you went to a protest, you should have body armor or Kevlar. You should have a helmet. You should have a way to protect yourself. You should have I forget what it's called. I got one back in the closet, in case of tear gas or pepper spray or any kind of toxic release. Goggles. And identification that you are media. This is different as well in that, and I find this a key difference in that the movement for justice wanted live streamers. They wanted people showing what was going on. The students, the Palestinian, pro-Palestinian side of things does not want live streamers or media or independent journalists. And of course, police don't either. So this is and I'm pointing these things out because we're just at the beginning of this. All right. You could feel that we were just at the beginning of the George Floyd thing about 4 years ago, as we were coming into May, and it, because it had been going on, George Zimmer, and it just kept escalating and escalating and getting more and more like a direct attack on the Black community. And eventually they, along with their allies, had to stand up and say that, this isn't right. This isn't right. You can't do it. One person can't do it. I can't get on here and say we really need to change things. And we're all aware of what's going on. And we are all aware that the leaders are from both sides are complacent in the eradication. Anyway, that's for a different episode. I promised I wasn't going to get on a tangent. I was going to keep it focused so more people would watch, possibly. Florida law enforcement, who are in riot gear and deploying multiple rounds of tear gas and rubber bullets on protesters at the University of South Florida 4 hours ago. And we'll watch this. And let me control the volume.
This is insane. tear gas. That is the tear gas. Oh my God, this is insane.
Now, again, this is a protest. This is we're looking at a First Amendment right to free speech, to peacefully assemble, and University of South Florida at Tampa was not messing around. We got video footage of IDF just kind of beating random Palestinians for wanting to walk through an area. Not a good look, and hopefully people see what is the difference of what's going on, the inhumane treatment, and why these protests are going on. And whether you agree or disagree with the protests, if you're American, you damn ought to be upset about not letting people have their First Amendment rights, because we are losing our rights. We are, systematically. And a lot of people don't want to hear these things because people tend to get into this bubble of alternate reality where nothing that they don't already, if you don't already believe something, you don't want to hear anything else, because it's going to burst your bubble, and all of your beliefs could be eradicated. Well, if you have your eyes open, a lot of your beliefs have probably already been eradicated, including the belief in the humanity of some people, inhumanity. Now, we've said it multiple times on here. There are no good guys. There are no good guys in this. Okay. There are no good guys on the Israeli side or on the Palestinian side. All right. What's going on is just totally wrong. It's been going on forever. And we, as a nation that is driven by the military industrial complex, as other nations are, we need conflicts. We need war in order to sell weapons of war. Austin reported nearly 40 overdoses in one day, with at least 4 dead. I'm bringing this back up in case you're just joining us. Something happened down there during all this protest thing yesterday. And I hope they get to the bottom of it. I hope they find the connection, the common connection. I mentioned Lori Arnold, our friend Lori Arnold. Love Lori Arnold, the Rainbow Unicorn. She's in Austin. She'll be there tomorrow. Look for her around 1 p.m. Eastern time. That's when things are going to kick off there. She'll probably get there earlier, but she may not come on until actually, they get to the campus. I don't know. If you know Lori, there's one thing that is you never know about Lori. Something happened here. There's a reason for the overdoses. I was watching Lori today, and she had a great dialogue. She did great camera work and great journalistic work by letting people talk. She didn't talk over them. She didn't interrupt, which I do. She just sat and let these people talk. And this one guy was talking way fast, and I had just seen this story about these overdoses, and I'm thinking, what's this guy on? But I think maybe he just might have talked really fast. I don't know. It just seemed a little odd. And 40 overdoses in one day, at least 4 dead. A reminder that the last night's episode was about weather and about if weather could be manipulated. We showed you some things. You decide for yourself. massive tornadoes on Sunday, massive tornadoes on Monday. Guess what? Today, massive tornadoes again. This came in from Saturday, and going down the road, and then all of a sudden the wind takes semi over right in front of you. Thankfully, no one injured, but just a reminder that if you do not have to drive in potentially extreme weather, do not do so. And when they say move to a secure location, do so. Even though I'm one of those people that will film, don't do as I say, or do as I say, not as I do, I guess is what the old teacher motto is. Austin officials say multiple people dead. I didn't realize I had that in third time. Now, this is Gary Peterson, and Gary Peterson right here put this out 14 hours ago. It was an honor to give President Trump my latest artwork of our beautiful First Lady, Melania, and I hope it brings him as much joy on his bedroom walls as it did ours. It doesn't look like it's giving him any joy at the moment, Gary. I don't know how much money you had to pay to get the access to be able to do this. I don't know why you had it hanging on your, well, I got an idea why you had it hanging on your bedroom wall, but so yeah, I just thought, we like to have a little lighthearted break every once in a while. And again, Don doesn't look too happy with the artwork, but nonetheless, the guy paid probably $1 million to him to be able to do that. So, okay. Again, I'm going to go into depth on this before May the 6th. Stop it. Before May the 6th, because we're going to have major tornadoes here in Indiana on May 5th or 6th. So I want to go over that weather manipulation with the radar. And of course, the official word is going to be, we can't do any of this stuff. We don't know how to do any of this stuff. Okay. We'll see one day, possibly, who knows. And maybe it's all a conspiracy. Maybe it's just it's not. We know it's not, because other countries are documenting what they're doing, even though the United States won't, and never has. Unfortunately, our government has a long history of trying things out on its own citizens before ever proceeding to use it as a weapon, because otherwise, it might fail and we would look silly. So we've got to prove it. And a lot of the times, anyway. All right. The other thing we're going to touch on tonight, and I'm going to play it and try not to stop too much during this. And this is as soon as I can find it. We're going to play the speech that Phil Schneider gave. I want to make sure I got the volume on this without blowing everybody out, and so everybody can hear. Before I play this, there's there will be people that say, this is a farce. This is this is all made up. It was all in the guy's head, and that is that is an option. But I'm going to just play this video. And again, try not to stop it a lot because I find this video fascinating, and if you got 15 minutes, take a listen to this. Come on.
Now, I was involved in something very controversial, almost totally unbelievable to most of you. Some of you are religious people. I think all religions have a time and a place, and they definitely have a place in America.
Hang on. I got to get a little bit more volume and get rid of that copy ad. All right, my apologies there. Here we go.
Now, another thing I want to reach to you is that during the unbelievable part, I was involved in building another base inside of Dulce, New Mexico, which is Los Alamos Laboratory. It's a biological laboratory. On the southwest part of the Archuleta Mesa, we built an underground facility, a better part of 3 cubic miles hollowed out underground. Then to the southwest of that, we were in the process of the early stages of building. We drilled 4 large tunnel-like holes. Some of them ran 2.5 miles under the surface. Number of the original wells or drilling machines that were used were at the rate of up 2 miles a day. It was fairly rapid. The equipment kept coming up broken. So we wanted to go down, we wanted to send somebody down there, a human observer, or human observers in this case, to find out what was going on. Well, to our total surprise, first of all, the government knew all about it. They didn't tell anybody. When I saw Green Beret and Black Beret people encamped inside of our geologist camp, I knew something was up. The gig was up. First of all, I knew all about the alien agenda. I'll explain that in a few minutes. The large alien grays had been encamped there for as best as believed possible 400 or 500 years. It had been one of their internal bases. And we drilled holes right on top of it. All the stinking air, all the black sooty air came right out as soon as the first hole was sunk, and all this soot came up. And well, that's when all the hell broke loose, really, all started. Anyway, after we drilled all 4 holes, it took about 2 days to drill all 4 of them. And when you build an underground base, you drill 4 basic holes, and then you build called stopes or cross-member holes across, and then you use blasting equipment, special blasting equipment by the analyzation of the rock formation, and you literally blast out or tunnel out or deflagrate or melt rock out to build the large rooms that are required for this underground base. Well, in this process, I was lowered down the basket of one of these holes, and about from me to this elderly woman here in the front was sitting a 7-foot tall alien gray. The stench was worse than the worst garbage can you can imagine. The person or the entity was absolutely horrible. I didn't waste any time. I reached for my pistol. At that time, as an engineer, I didn't have time to carry all the folderol of one of these big submachine guns that all the sea spray and the yellow fruit and all the outer perimeter and inner perimeter security people carried. I carried a little Walther PPK pistol with a 9-shot clip. This is in late August of 1979. Now, you got a regular suit of clothes, you got a regular clothes on, plus you're in almost like a spacesuit environment, and you're reaching for a gun. It's not the easiest thing to do, and then to pop a clip in it and start shooting. And I killed 2 of them. Yes, they're mortal, and they do die. However, in the process, one of them did this. All I remember is that he just kind of waved his hand in front of his chest, and the next thing I know, this blue beam hit me and just literally opened me up like a fish, and burnt my fingers right off of me. And it was some form of electrical force, because the kind of like being hit by a lightning bolt burned all my toenails off of me. completely crispy crittered my left foot, burnt the shoe right off of me. All I remember is the smoking remains, and I'm still conscious, but in and out of, I didn't remember much. And there was a Green Beret that was right behind me that risked his life. In fact, he died. But he risked his life. He shoved me back in the basket and hit the button and took me up. And I wouldn't be alive talking to you today if it wasn't for him. I'm forever indebted. He lost his life. 66 Secret Service agents, Green Berets, Black Berets, crack troops lost their lives because the government, our United States government, lied, did not tell us anything about the alien threat. There's a war underneath there, and I'm talking dead serious. It's been going on since that time. Since late August of 1979, our military, the Russian military, basically the militaries of the world, have been in constant conflict with the outer space alien.
Okay, this is again, this is his opinion, and we're putting it out there so that putting it out there to see what you think about this. I don't know if you noticed or not. He holds his hand up, and his fingers have indeed been burnt off. I want you to know that he gave this speech in 1995, and in 1996 he was found dead, and it appeared to be a military style execution. So I don't know if what he is saying is true. If it is both fascinating and horrifying.
The small gray, the large gray, the reptilian.
And by the way, thank you everybody for being here. Let me run over here real quick and say thank you to Cunning Stunt, Peace, Love, and Unity, Peace, Love, Sunshine, Tilly, Lori Arnold. Lori, I've been talking about you throughout this. Lori's going to be in Austin tomorrow. Lori, if you did not hear, the protest is set to kick off at 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 noon. And be careful out there, because there's something going around there. There have been incredible amount of opioid overdoses, and including a few deaths. So with that being said, and Pat Tolliver, hello, shaking my head, wow. I'm going to play the rest of this. And again, I'm going to try not to interrupt too often. But
the whole thing. There are 11 distinct races of aliens. 2 are benevolent. 1 had to leave here in a hurry because their world is under attack, both on the surface as well as underground. There, the Pleiadians. They're familiar. Maybe some of you are familiar with that. Would some of you raise your hands who've heard of Billy Meyer and some of the, very good, about half the group. Well, Billy Meyer is one of these lucky people that they figured, well, he's kind of a simple type. We'll show him everything. Well, these are the benevolent aliens, and they've been here helping us. In fact, I have a picture. Let me reach for it here. I have a picture of one of the aliens been working for the United States Pentagon for the last 58 years. His name is Val Valiant Thor. He's right here. There's my father in the background. This whole place, the ready room of the USS Eldridge, Al Bielek has probably explained, or maybe even shown you this picture. There's a list of some of the notable people in it. They're all the atomic bomb scientists of the day, all the time variant experimentalists of the day, all the top physicists of that particular day. This was in August of 1943. Now, this guy has not changed one iota in 58 years.
okay, he says this guy, he's talking about about the alien in the middle of the picture. Of course, we can't see the picture. Again, 1995 technology. I'm going to dig around and see if I can find the picture for a potential follow-up on this. Phil, the guy that is giving this talk is he's an engineer and a geologist, both. His dad was on the Los Alamos project that eventually gave us the 2 nuclear bombs. So this guy's not a crackpot, and he started speaking out and was getting ready to go on a United States tour to talk about what he felt the citizens needed to know. And this was in 95. 1996, he was killed.
Started work. He came here, crashed here or whatever. Whether he's under duress or not, he started work for our U.S. Navy and military operations in 1937, either 37 or 38 is what I've been told. So it's for 58 years, this man's been employed, probably under duress. If you don't do as we say, we're just going to use you for alien bait or something. I don't know. But anyway, he basically hasn't changed. He lives for 490 years, is what he says his lifespan is. Now, he's supposedly a semi-benevolent, he's a human-looking type person. He has 6 fingers and 6 toes, and he's got one oversized heart, one lung, giant lung. His blood vessels are bigger. He's got copper oxide for blood, similar to an octopus. His brain capacity, 300 centimeters greater than ours. He has a thinking capacity, IQ, if you were to measure it, be totally off the scale, be about a 1200 IQ. He speaks 100 languages fluently, alien as well as others. He's a remarkable person. I had a chance to meet him one time. Now, by the way, he doesn't shake hands. He was kind of in a spacesuit because all aliens, regardless benevolent or otherwise, they're carrying germs and diseases and bacterium in and on them that are deadly to us. If I were making policy, I'd quarantine them all, because how do we not know that some of our diseases like AIDS, Ebola, hantavirus, and a few of these other weird designer diseases, as I call them, are not made from the cadavers of some of these aliens as a biological weapon to use against the people of the United States? Well, I'm a tired American speaking out.
Again, you can tell by the applause that, you know, he's talking to a group of maybe 50 people back in 1995 that could even fathom that what he's saying could be true. And now I find myself in 2024 not fully able to just believe everything this guy's saying because of his credentials, but at the same time not being able to discount anything he has said up to this point. And we'll continue.
Now, what I'm telling you is kind of almost like a brain overload here. Back in 1946, we set off a number, actually 4 atomic bomb tests at Bikini Atoll. It's a group of islands in the South Pacific. I have an original photograph here with original language on the photograph that shows there is a large alien spaceship off a wingtip of a United States aircraft. It was a drone aircraft right at the point where the bomb was beginning to show a neutron flash cloud. Here's the bomb going off. Here's the airplane tip here, and here is the alien spacecraft. Now, 1947, excuse me, 1947, questions later, please. In 1947, after Roswell debacle, our military got before the U.S. Senate. They were hauled before the U.S. Senate and says, what's going on here? Well, we didn't know anything about discs until this happened. It flopped in our backyard. Total lie. They lied to the U.S. Senate. They should have been prosecuted as traitors. Anybody lying to a United States Senator or House of Representative, any Senator or House of Representative, person, President of the United States, Vice President, any cabinet member lying to the American public is a traitor and should be dealt with in an appropriate fashion. This is actual proof, positive, that this occurred in 1946. Now, U.S. military knew all about flying discs, and flying disc technology is early, thoroughly early, as 1933. Of course, remember the Germans did too, the Nazi Germans, Hitler and all their bunch of people. Now, it gets to the big question.
By the way, there are pictures, classified pictures that show the Nazis were working toward a disc-shaped flying object, and also allegedly Admiral Byrd talked about flying in Antarctica and a missing period of time. We don't know if it's a hoax. We don't know if it was fabricated or not. Mentions Nazi aliens and a potential Nazi race at a point in the Antarctic region. Again, if I'd have been at this conference, I would have, I'd had a lot of questions and probably would not have, wouldn't have left influenced by what this guy said. Here we are in 2024, and thus far I cannot just say, oh yeah, hey everybody, believe all this. That's not why we're playing it. We're giving you something to think about. If you watched the show in the past, Tuesday nights was Science Tuesday, and we talked about pseudoscience, science. We talked about dimensions. We talked about direct energy weapons. We've talked about Bigfoot, and what the fact that the guy says he killed two of them before they basically all but obliterated him, and a Marine saved his, or a Green Beret saved his life, throwing him into a bucket and getting him out of a tunnel. I cannot say none of that happened where we are today.
If all this has been hidden from us, everybody says, well, where's the proof? I've got some of the proof laying on the table. But a lot of you probably are totally skeptical. They say, well, I could be anything. In my hand here, I have a piece of what's called corbamide. It's the heaviest element in the world. Element 140. This piece of material weighs
Element 140.
15 ounces. 3.5 times the weight of uranium. It cannot be made to emit gamma rays. It cannot be isotope. It is totally stable. It is used in all stealth aircraft and all Phoenix-class submarines.
This guy's probably giving classified information at this time when he was speaking back in 1995. By the way, if I remember correctly, there are not 140 elements in our periodic table.
When combined with other alien elements, it is impregnable. It cannot be melted with charged particle beam weapon. When properly combined in secretive compounds.
So we also have just now learned that in 1995 there were indeed charged particle weapons because they tested this stuff with one of them.
It can withstand temperatures in excess of 10 million degrees Fahrenheit. Is grown by aliens who have given a good. The other side of the alien question is, some of these aliens have broken off from their mainstream and said, we're not getting a fair shake, and so this is what happens. And I'm talking about the alien grays. Some of them broken away. They're talking about not being popular. This particular piece of metal is an amazing piece of technology. It's capable of being grown in 15 different crystal systems. Now, I'm a geologist, and I, prior to 15 or 20 years ago, knew of only 6 crystal systems. There's actually 15, if you count all the alien metals. Now, this is only element 140. If you look at the local periodic table in your local library, it says 104. Somewhere down the line, we've been lied
Couldn't remember the exact number, but I knew it wasn't 140.
to. We've been cheated. What we have to do is we have to literally ask for the truth. If we cannot ask for the truth, we must demand the truth. We must take it before courts of law and common law systems, and we must demand it. If we cannot do this, our founding fathers told us the only thing left is...
Okay, once again, I'm going to announce these are his words, not necessarily the thoughts of anybody watching this or of me presenting this as just something to think about.
To overthrow, to get the parasites out. I don't advocate overthrow, but it does look like this may be the only alternative. Now, I'm going to casually mention to you something that's very scary indeed, and tell you what the alien agenda is. And it's going to sound very familiar. The alien agenda is the complete takeover of this planet, the killing off of 5/6 to 7/8 of the world's population by the year 2029. U.S. military has known about this for 45 years. They've told no one. As far as I know, I'm the only person standing before a crowd talking about the alien agenda secretively.
There we go. Again, just giving you something to think about and reminding you that that guy said all this stuff in 1995. In 1996, he was dead, and you may not see him anywhere other than here where we showed this tonight. As always, you know, we want you to make up your own minds. We as a country, we need to start being more critical thinkers. We need to start making decisions for ourselves instead of being groomed. Realize we've been groomed to just listen to what are established sources, and again, try to break out of that little bubble if you're one of those people that are in an area where you just cannot hear anything that goes against what you already believe, especially politically, because think about this. Could we be getting played? Could this country be getting played? Could there be forces, whether they be alien or elite or evil or whatever, Do we realize the significance of being a human, of being American, of being alive at this time, and how there are a lot of things at work that are trying to keep us distracted from focusing on what might be being done to us? It's a question. I don't have an answer, but it is something to think about. There is no ability to even know what Alpha Centauri has life. Okay, read my comments. You're talking about a species that was evolved in a habit zone along with materials and knowledge of science beyond our comprehension. Near star system 76 years away with our current technology. Yeah, they obviously totally agree with that, Telescope. If all of this is true, if even part of what we heard tonight was true, we have to understand that they are so much farther advanced than we are that probably the reason we haven't been told is because of how far advanced we are and how that would undermine the elite that want to make us swallow the preconceived notion that they know everything and we should just accept anything. All right, they know everything, we should accept anything. If we find out that there are aliens that are so much smarter than the people we're supposed to accept, that undermines their power. Just something to think about. Again, thank you all for being here. Thank you for watching. Thanks for hanging in here till the end. And we'll be back tomorrow night, probably around 11 o'clock. And I'm going to throw up I'm going to throw the link up tomorrow night and invite people up to talk about these things, talk about what's going on the campuses. Why are why is this all happening now? Why are we limited to, in the eyes of many people, unacceptable candidates for the presidency on all in all spectrums? A lot of different topics. So if you want to, feel free to come on tomorrow night, and we will invite some people up and have a chat. And we'll also talk about the movie Civil War. If you've seen that movie, try to come up tomorrow night when we discuss that part of it. And again, thank you all so much. I love y'all. Love y'all like chocolate chip cookies. I will be back tomorrow night. We'll probably have Chris on Friday, depending on some things. Hit the subscribe, hit the like, hit the share. Email is americandoofus@gmail.com. The Cash App is $American Doofus. I do love you all. It's a very dark world. Seems like it's only getting darker, but that's okay. Try to be a light. See you next time. This is Eyes Open on the American Doofus channel.